right? So I think we need to start at the basics. I don't think we need to take on e-health records. I don't think we need to take on some of the big conversations, but some of the really things that we do well already with the model are things that make sense potentially for health. NIEM's also being used in a couple of areas you might not know, so or being planned in this same use case. Transportation worker credentials out of TSA. Real ID or Pass ID, I guess it's Pass ID now, right? So for the passing of valid driver's license in a hub across multiple states so that we don't have people duplicating driver's license, you know, that we can have some integrity on when a license is revoked. You know, that's all kind of NIEM-based information exchange. Person, credential, benefit. Oops. Never mind. Cyber. The threat has never been smaller on our IT infrastructure. The threat has never been smaller. The threat's not getting any smaller. When I look at what we do to address the threat, what we do on a daily basis, phone calls, fax, pieces of paper flying around during an incident, on a cyber incident, we can do better. We could definitely do better for that community. And I say that because this is another use case. An event happens. A request for information or a sending of information goes somewhere, and a need for resources comes back, right? We do this today in the EOCI, Best of NIEM application, in a regional area, in a situation, in a very quick responding situation. We pass information around. The basics of the model. The middle of our model contains this thing called an incident, and it contains this thing called an alarm event and an activity, right? So the middle of what we're doing can be applied to some of the cyber incident. And, you know, I'm going to tell you that community is ready for some structure, and that community is ready to move forward. Our internal team at DHS has taken on doing a little work and probably have a couple of IEPDs ready to have those conversations with the cyber community. I think that that's kind of a big way to use cyber, increase the cyber information sharing. And financial reporting. So as you know, Shmendra talked to you a little bit about NIEM and recovery.gov. There were some parts of NIEM in the recovery.gov schemas. But mostly what is in the recovery.gov, rg.xsd, the recovery.gov namespace, is a major extension using the naming and design rules for a lot of financial reporting capability. Is that then the basis for federal financials or a financial domain, financial reporting in NIEM? It makes sense for us to look at what we did, the hard work we did at RG. There's a significant piece of work that we could also apply to kind of the financial domain. So these are three areas that if you look at what we're doing, the areas that there are gaps across the federal government, kind of top-down gaps, right? It makes sense to look at these areas because the model today can handle some of the information exchanges. Now we'll go forward. So talk a little bit about the how, the structure, the how of we do this. And so let me tell you today, I'm going to commit to you today, this fiscal year, it's the first day of our fiscal year, Happy New Year. And we're at a continuing resolution, so I don't know if I'm poor or rich, most likely poor. But Happy New Year. So, but this fiscal year, in FY10, we are going to finish the work we need to do for domain independence. Right? So what that really means is allowing and creating that capacity to allow new domains, lowering the barrier for new domains when we want them, when we need them, when we think it's feasible, and allowing communities to become much more reactive to what they need in their domains. So along with that, it comes some responsibilities for being a good NIEM citizen, right? And it's a term that started in the halls of DHS, somewhere in our working groups, good NIEM citizen. And I like it, so it's one I'm going to kind of continue to use. It means when you develop new content, you pre-harmonize as much as you can to that middle, right? Don't duplicate something in the middle. And that's kind of a no-brainer for us modelers, right? But it also includes be inclusive in your governance structure. You can never be too inclusive in your governance structure. It also means that the domain stewards have responsibilities that they probably didn't know about maybe a year ago or 2 years ago when they came into the program. So they're going to have responsibilities for training and outreach. They're going to have responsibilities to ensure that they communicate the value of that particular domain out to their stakeholders. Now, there's responsibilities for the NIEM program as well, but the domain stewards are going to have to step up their game. All right? Step it up. If we're going to make it independent for you, you're going to have to manage some of your own community. And this is a pet idea of mine, or not maybe an idea, it's probably an idea of a lot of yours. But I think the NIEM program needs to start understanding what it would take to do attribute level tagging in their message structure. So the cases I see today where we need to bifurcate a message, only some of that message can go to some audiences, other parts of that messages can go to other audiences. They're not classified messages, but they're different levels of sensitivity in that data. And today how we do that, well, we write 2 messages, or we write 2 style sheets. And that's kind of a half-hearted solution. I think that we need to really start looking at how we do attribute, column, row level, element level tagging in some of our, not every message, but some of our messages that are sensitive. And I think that if you continue to place that code at the edge of your service, or you continue to proliferate the number of services, you're going to continue then to increase your costs, to increase your O&M. And I think you'll see that there might be an initial investment in blowing out your database to handle attribute level tagging and sharing. But eventually, your costs are going to lower, right? So your costs are going to be a lot lower because you're going to handle that at the data level. And so we really need to kind of address how we would do that. I don't think we're going to do it this fiscal year, maybe, but we certainly do need to come up with alternatives and advanced thinking on how we're doing that. That combined with some of the other things we're doing, is really going to help us provide the best offense for cybersecurity, where we are primarily in a defensive position at this point in this country. So we need to tighten up what we're doing with our data, and we need data security with the data, not outside of the data. I think that this program needs to ensure that the models keep up with the best of breed one around identity, credentialing, access management. Best of breed at the federal level is the FICAM, Federal Identity Credentialing Access Model, model, and the GFIPM. So if you missed the GFIPM, the Global Identity Privileged Management Model, GFIPM, John. So if you guys missed it, all of the presentations from all of the sessions were taped. I went and looked at quite a few of them last night until I fell asleep. And go back and look at that one, because that's a really great piece of work from GTRI. So I want to now talk about the life cycle, IEPD life cycle. We need to make this a little smoother. That's the best way I can articulate that. So there are parts of the IEPD that will take time. They will always take time. The initial parts, the business scenario planning, those conversations with your business people, we can't shorten that unless we can make people think faster, smarter, and integrate, do the Vulcan mind meld. That part's always going to be somewhat hard, should be hard, and it should be thorough. But the other parts where we have jump from tool A to tool B to tool C, but if you do something in C, and it doesn't propagate back to tool A, we have to get better at that. So I see it personally as my job to make your jobs a little easier in those areas where we can. So I'm going to commit to you that we will not do anything to NIEM. We will not put any constraint on NIEM that's going to make the implementer's job any harder. So know that. It's really my job to make that easier. And we want to tighten up that IEPD specification so that we can throw that out to the tool vendors and say, so we don't have the best tools. Can you help us out with our tools? Right. So, and they can only do that if we create a specification that they can build to that is tight enough. So I think that's definitely in our future. The people. All right. This is the fun part. NIEM's only successful. I don't know how often we can say it, but it's something we really believe. NIEM is only successful because of the hours and hours and hours that the volunteers have put in. let me just say this. So static websites and once in a while newsletters, it's unacceptable to me to have this as the primary way that we communicate with you. It is no longer acceptable to this administration either. So I think we need, you need to expect better from us. And I think you need to demand better from us, right? So we need collaboration zones, we need portal. We need to turn the development of NIEM into feeling much more open source, feeling like you're part of it. You have a voice in it, right? So I've started this probably about 6 months ago by putting up a LinkedIn community, little experiment. We have over 900 people who have a way now for me to communicate with them on a regular basis, and much more importantly, for you to communicate across each other. So I see technology questions up there, and before I can even get someone on my staff to take a look at it and answer it, 3 other people have answered it, right? And so we need more of that. We need to harness you. We're using Twitter, mostly to kind of communicate about the event. We're going to keep using Twitter. We're going to keep using those platforms, but mostly we need ideas. We need the best of how you want to work with us, and we need to listen to you often. So that's pretty much all I have about the future of NIEM. It's really bright. With this current administration's focus, I was hoping for a little bit of rest after this training event, but I think that there's no rest for the weary. I think we're going to be running hard for the next 6 months. I think we've gotten everything we've asked for. We have Vivek Kundra coming, someone interested in what we're doing now, and that with that comes a lot more focus on strengthening the program and working to increase our capacity. So with that, I will open it up for questions, and thank you for sitting through this this morning.
It must have been a very good evening last night.
All right, so you can hit me up in the hallway. I think we're due for a break. And certainly hit those sessions. Again, remember the sessions are being taped, so if you don't hit them all, you'll be able to hit them later. And have a great afternoon, morning. Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on, housekeeping.
Some out of
housekeeping before everybody bails. Take 2 seconds. Banner. Very important. Throughout the entire breakout rooms and here, we will have evaluation forms. Please take a couple of minutes, fill them out. Again, expecting better from us. We need to know what your thoughts are so we can do better as we move forward to the other processes. The other very big thing, get your questions into the suggestion boxes for the town hall meeting tomorrow. We had some very good ones that were in there last night. We can always use more, and they will be the basis for the discussions with Vivek, Van, the CIO of DHS, and Bob Bomer and Donna. So, that brain trust, we just hope we don't burn the hotel down with having all those people in one room thinking big thoughts. Lunch is on your own today. There is a restaurant downstairs, the Diamond Tavern. They are prepared to get you in and out by 1. There are a multitude of other opportunities all around here, but lunch is on your own. And to further highlight the question for the town hall, we have some tickets to the baseball game that we will be giving out to those who submit questions into the suggestion box for the town hall meeting. So baseball game coming up Friday. If you're going to be here, let us know. Thanks. See everybody at the breakout.